Hi, this is Steve with the SRP channel, and I'm doing a quick troubleshooting video on pole lights. So this one, I've known the person for a while. It's been dead for a while. Also, one of the little globes there is broken. He didn't have any idea. He said there's never been a switch for it when it did work. It just stayed on. So the first thing I usually start out on troubleshooting some of this, obviously, is they're getting power to the pole, and there is not any power to the pole. Let me get my proximity tester. So this is usually the best way to do it. Just open the top up or anywhere you can access it, and even down here there's nowhere there's any kind of whistling or coming on. So then I got the soil and moved it away from the bolts just to see if there's any kind of access down here. There didn't appear to be. So this wire just goes straight up, which doesn't really matter. We're going to actually be removing it and replacing it anyway. So then what you need to do on something like this is look at the base of the house to see where any conduits or anything is coming out for power for it. And then sure enough, right here, there's a 1/2-inch LB at the base of the foundation, and it looks like it is. House is built in the like 70, I think, and this is the could have been done at the same time. It's quite a bit older, so I had to actually drill off the plate cover because the screws obviously were just rusted in. But when my proximity tester, I come in here, there we go. So that is getting power there, so that's good. The neutral might be bad, but this will pick up the hot. So I can't tell what kind of wire that is. It looks black right there. I don't know if it's an old UF cable or what, but and then it goes into metal conduit, probably EMT. I don't know for how long or how it gets power from there over to there. So at this point, since we're replacing the pole light anyway, I'm going to start removing it and then see if there's any power where it comes up right through the little foundation they made here. Okay, so I took the light bulbs out. These have the photo cells here. These are really never work that well. But I was just showing you that there was no photo cell I could see on this one. He said he didn't ever know of a switch. So the power that goes up over here in the house probably goes to the switches on the inside of the door here, but a lot of times they'll take that switch leg and wire it in hot, so it stays on all the time if there's a photo cell out here, which there's not, but that's usually the case on that. But I'm about to take this down. Surprisingly, I removed the glass. Always remove the glass. You don't have to be careful with this because it's not being reused, but these were surprising. These were 17 millimeter bolts. That one actually was loose, and that one actually came out easily, surprisingly. But this is the last one here. But took the glass out before I removed the last bolt, just so we don't have any tumbling down. Okay, so I just pushed this pole over here and to see the wire, which I can see here, and unfortunately it doesn't appear there's any power to that going in there. So but what I'm actually going to do is cut right through here just so I can get a decent length of wire here, and then pull the wire back out. But I'm just going to kind of probably cut this out just so I have enough wire to work with if I am able to find the short and fix it. So the baby sledgehammer broke up the little foundation pretty easily. So that was good. So right now I'm trying to get that wire out of there. So I'm going to chisel out around that. Anytime you have a wire going through concrete, it should always be sleeved in something that's concrete rated. You know, PVC is good. Seal tight, I think, is rated for concrete. Anything that has a sleeve, just so this doesn't sit, you know, stuck in the concrete like that. All right, broke this bad boy apart, but got a little splice there. So we don't want to use this wire anyway. We'll cut it right here. So, you know, that I didn't know that was in there. But, so just trying to get this all peeled off without damaging the wire. And then I'll probably use my wire tracer after I get all that ready. Okay, when I was at the side of the house going wee-wee, sorry about that. This is their service, and I had to put this in the video. I've never seen this. This is in the city of Dallas, but so this is a aluminum, maybe 3-inch conduit coming up from the underground transformer into a big junction box. And of course the panel here is an old Federal Pacific in the closet, and then there's this meter base kind of off to the side here. I hope y'all can see it with the sun shining on it, but has one of the security locks. So that's probably a CT setup where there's little current transformers going in there, but I've never seen a big box like that. That's probably, oh gosh, that's probably like a 14 by 20 by 6 outdoor box, pretty big for the little splices. So okay, so I got the wire cleaned up here. It actually was it's old UF cable, but it still is a little more malleable than it normally is. It wasn't as dry as I thought it would be, but it stripped fairly easy. But I got 2 good ends on it. And then when I started to get my wire tracer here, it's the Klein ET450. It's probably paid for itself already 2-3 times. This is the little unit that powers up, so it can put a signal through the wire. And even if it's a hot wire, it can still put a signal through it, which is helpful with some landscape jobs, landscape lighting. It's already paid for itself. Finding the wire. The problem is sometimes if the wire's not totally cut, then this will show that it's good all the way up, and you can't really find the point where it's cut. And I think this is partially cut, and that'll be the problem, is finding it is getting this little deal, which you just rubber on the ground to fix anything, because it's going to show that it's connected all the way to the house. So, but what I'm going to do actually first is dig back here around here, because a lot of times if you move this around like that, your wire like that, you can kind of get a different reading. And if it jumps around, it's not doing it right now, then you know you have like a short pretty close by, which that would be ideal, because we wouldn't have to try to find it along there. So I'm stripping down here on the wire. The ground is broke here, so I'm gonna cut it here because it was a little bit damaged. I can't tell through my gloves if any of that was broken or not, but I'm gonna take a reading right here. Okay, so what I did on my meter was I took the ground from a separate circuit so I could get a kind of a clean reading on it, and then using the hot to check these wires. And the hot it's 62 volts now, and this was like 20. The neutral, no current. So that's actually probably good. But so if this was 120 volts, then the neutral would be broke. So what it actually appears now with this reading here is there's some break between here and the house, which is probably kind of the worst case scenario. So I'm going to try to get my little reader here and see if I can my circuit tracer and find it that way. So before I start trying to find the circuit underground, I wanted to see if any of these wires were broke, because it'll be easier actually finding it if there's one of the wires is not continuous, because you'll be able to find the break in the ground. So, but I have this line over here on the neutral white wire. I'm going to my meter. You can hear it. It's that anybody knows that's continuity here. So that's the neutral on the line. I was hoping that would be broke. It would be easier that way to find the section of the wire that was damaged. Because right now I can find the wire in the ground, but I can't find the area where it's damaged. So that's kind of the issue now. Sometimes that's a problem with these wire tracers. I can find it in the ground, I just can't find where it's broke. Okay, so I have the tracer hooked up right now. Here the ground source here goes over to a extension cord right here. I tried to get an extension cord to keep it away from the signal path as much as possible. That comes into the ground input of the tracer, and then the line or the hot that is supposed to go to the wire I put on the black wire. I did do a continuity on the black wire and I didn't actually get any, so but it's still showing a signal going through there. But so I got my tester here, and so right now I have it on level 6, 99. Obviously it does right there by the wire. You can kind of see it there. It's kind of pegging out. I'm going to try to stand in this. Okay, let's take it down to, it's on level 6. Let's do it to level 5. Okay, that slows it down. Okay, it's staying strong-ish. Okay, getting weaker, then it gets stronger. So it seems like it's going over. So you kind of see its path here with the wire. So it's kind of going over a little bit. Now this is about 4 feet away. A little stronger. So it's a little weaker here. Okay, so it seems it's the strongest is here. So I'll put this little stone right there. And then go up here. So you can kind of see it's kind of over here. I mark this from here. Okay, so this is up above a little ridge here. So 5 seems to be a good level. It seems okay. Now 5, it's on level 5, but the signal's lower, but it's probably because it's deeper in the ground. But you can see here we go to 1 dead. So 1, 2. So if we went up to 6, yeah. So then it's doing the same thing. It's just a smaller number. So we can still get an idea of where it is. There's a strong. There's 26, 28, 29, or 27, and then it starts going back down. 26, 27, 28. So this spot right here, that's where it is underground. So I'll put that little stone there, and so we can see here we got stone there and stone there. Okay. Weaker. So 23, it's weak here. Then at 20, it goes down there. 15, 19, 20, 21. So it's strongest here. Then it gets weaker there. 17. So here the signal's pretty decent. So you can see here where the old light pole was. Put a stone there, stone there, stone there, and on that last one, it's right here. So, and then all the way to the power source on the house right here. So it's kind of what I figured before. Tells it where it is, but it doesn't tell you where it's broke, unfortunately. So, but this helps tremendously as far as knowing where it is. And so what I'm going to do is probably dig right here, check the power. This is a few feet before. It didn't seem that deep either, just by this signal strength. So I don't know what was here as far as landscaping, or if that was where it could have been broke. Usually you can look at things that have been done in the landscape and sometimes tell, hey, they added the shrubs, or just, brick this off, or they added this retaining wall. That's definitely where the issue was. But that's not... Okay, sorry how I cut off earlier. My phone actually overheated. So it must have been sitting in the sun before I did the video. So I got this pulled off here. This goes into a 3 square box on the house. This obviously I tested. That's getting 120 volts. But so this is another area, might be a weak spot. This is a metal conduit right here. And then it goes down, and the UF is going to exit probably somewhere down there. So I'm actually going to pull this out, because a lot of times where that cable goes out that old conduit is where the problem is. It might be shorted there. So I'm going to check that first before I start digging in other spots. Okay, so I took this elbow off, and you can kind of see here how sharp those edges are, like little razor knives. That's why you definitely want to check that. But that was not the cause of any problems. The wire's actually good shape. I try to dig it out even more, but it goes pretty far down. Looks like maybe 18 plus inches from there. So, but it all looks good there. So I'm gonna go out in the yard and try a hole there. Okay, so here's where I stand. So this is, I was able to track the wire where it is underground, and I was able to determine it was the power source was good. I was able to track this wire, but I'm not able to determine where it breaks. And also, even if I did, they have it buried so deep, it's about 2 feet, it looks like, which is good, but also bad, because even if I could find the splice, I would have to dig so deep. I even tried to dig there, so it's just real deep. So I'm going to run a whole new line, which maybe I should have done to begin with, but it is old aluminum UF cable. But so yeah, that's what I'm going to do now, is actually dig a trench and just run a new line. All right, this is the next day. This is the fixture I took down. It actually is probably the same company as the one I'm putting up. It's cast aluminum. There, it actually held up pretty decent. Just the problem was the lamps, one of them broke up there, and you couldn't get parts for it, so you have to replace the whole thing. But the mounting base on the new one is the same bolt pattern, which is good. So it's probably the same company. So you could just replace the fixture, but in this case you couldn't, because if you remember, they ran the wire inside ran the wire in the concrete instead of sleeving it separately. So that creates issues. But I got the fixture laid out here, my 14.2, started the trench. It's kind of a shallow trench. Anytime it is like that, the circuit should be GFCI protected. And I'm actually pounding through right here with the ground rod under these landscape stones here. And this is one thing you can use. This pry bar works really well as far as getting in and digging for dirt. So I use it and then just clean all the dirt off. It's actually a very good digging implement. This is the foundation I did yesterday. 2x4, framed it out, quick set, quickcrete, 2 bags, 50-pound bags. I use this board here to center up the sill tight on it. So I got the center point of this board, and then this whole just big enough for that, and then got the concrete in, and then there's actually the plate for the fixture right here. So hopefully got these bolts straight up and down. So, but I think it worked pretty good. Then I got everything in place and then screwed it to the concrete form. So I think 2 bags will work. And then I put some of the pieces of the old concrete at the bottom to fill in the space. Okay, so I always like to upgrade the hardware on these things. This is, by the way, this is an Amazon post lamp. It was purchased on Amazon. This is the cap on it. Yeah, that's not even. That's. I don't even know if that's aluminum or what on the how good quality that is. So I went and I was thinking this would probably be a 3/8 standard thread. Actually, at the hardware, that showed to be a 3/8 by 16 thread, the rough thread. But when I got back, it wouldn't really turn past a certain point. It ends up, this is a metric M10 by 1.5 thread here. So yeah, when I got back, and so when I was going to upgrade it, I was going to use the grade 8 hardened steel ones just to hold up better. They didn't actually have the grade 8 in metric, so I got a stainless steel in the metric, and it goes right on there. So what I'm going to do is a couple of these are bent or not level up, so I'm going to actually put the nuts down here and then try to bend them back with a little pipe, and then have this here in case the threads get damaged. I can bring that back up and repair the threads. The washers I bought are the grade 8. I'm going to reuse all that. Obviously, that'll work. It was just the little nuts. And I have also lock nuts too that I can reuse. It's just the metric threaded stuff. Obviously caused a problem. But yeah, this hardware it comes with, that's one of the biggest things you can really do. And it was like $15 for all the correct, good quality hardware. And that's, I think, what you're going to notice on these things, 10 years from now. One thing I did was swapped out the photo cell it comes with. Just being a contractor and servicing this stuff all the time, these things fail easily. So I drilled the hole out a little larger and installed the torque photo cell control. I've had good luck with this. This one, it's a 3000 model for this, but yeah, I think it'd be quite a bit better. And all I had to do was just get my unibit and enlarge that hole right there. The lamps that came with the fixture from Amazon look like 2700 Kelvin, or even warmer. So that would look nice at night, but it's not the best security light for some people. So they have an existing fixture. I don't know if that works. So whether this is the only light in the area or not would kind of depend on what kind of lamp you might. If there's other lighting around, then the warmer light might be nice. It'd be more like accent lighting. But if you want more security lighting too, a higher Kelvin, like a bright white, these are 3K. This is a frosted bulb. You can get 3K in the clear bulbs too. You can even go up to 4K, which is more of a bright white. But usually the 3K is sufficient. This is more like a halogen brightness. So I just wanted to kind of get that in there for y'all. Okay. Powered up. Everything is on. So I have the photocell here taped up so that it'll stay on during the day. Let it run for an hour or two while I'm here. So the only probably two main critiques I would have on this fixture is the foundation mount. They said to ask for 1.5 inches of the threading above the concrete, and that was just barely enough to catch the threads with the bolts. So I needed more like 2 inches. And the only other thing would be this. Okay, I have it pretty tight now. This twist in right here, and so I had to really twist it to stay in place. They need to have some kind of little set screw. Probably what I'm going to do is drill it out once I get it the spot I want, and then just throw a little machine screw in there so it doesn't move. And just so if it gets windy, it won't move. So I haven't buried it yet, but so I put pieces of PVC, covered the pipe here, or the wire, to where it goes up over that little ledge there. That was one of the more difficult things, was pounding through that. So I could have done that or come around the side of it. So I just decided to go through that. And then I got another little piece of Seal-Tight protecting it as it goes into the stone. Sometimes I do that. This isn't so much the case. Sometimes you'll have it where it's going up on a sidewalk and you want to protect it against edgers or weed eaters. So I got this line just sitting in here now. I haven't backfilled it yet. And so the sill tight here, I have come on kind of past where the shrubberies are there. So, and I have a actual round box here for light mount, and so I just came out of it with a sill tight 90, and I used a metal one just because that's can be a high impact area. Obviously it's low, and used ideal 65 purple wire nuts for the copper to aluminum connections. And then I will use these 8/32 stainless steel screws, and then work around it with a little silicone between there. But I use these little 8/32 stainless steel, and then seal it above the brick here, just to make sure that water doesn't get up in there after everything's back on. So I hope this was something that's helpful. If not, sorry. But if it is, please like, subscribe. I'll have other videos out about stereo systems on Focus STs. Also, I'm going to have some more extensive aluminum wiring videos. So I'm working on those right now. And that's it. Thank you for watching.